Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. Super honored to have this friend of mine on. This is Mike Adams. Mike's an attorney, so many other things, but we have a connection because not only our childhoods, but our passion for helping and supporting and bringing awareness to Harbor House of Central Florida, which I'll let him give all of the description, but we've been doing a walk a mile in her shoes. This is the 13th annual. The whole concept is that you walk a mile in her shoes. So men wear some sort of heel. I learned over time, Mike, that I couldn't walk in a real heel, so I had a platform heel. Then I had a wedge. So the fact that I know all of that about a shoe is a whole nother discussion, but the organization is near and dear to both of our hearts. The walk brings so much awareness to what services, critical, important services Harbor House brings to the Central Florida area. And so I'm just honored to have you on the show, my friend. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing good, doing good. All right, let's dive in. I told you before we went live that the audience likes to know for a little background on you. And I said, you share what you'd like to share, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I've been working with the Harbor House for close to 10 years now. I met Michelle a while back. I was volunteering at an event, and they asked me to join the Young Professionals Board, where I got to know Michelle, and then eventually I kind of brought her into my background and what brought me to wanted to volunteer with Harbor House. So that's why she asked me to eventually join the board of directors. So I have my background's very similar to a lot of survivors that, we find ourselves helping at Harbor House. When I was younger, my mother was a nonverbal deaf person. So she didn't have a lot of resources, lack of resources in Michigan in the 80s, she became an addict. And she kind of fell in that cycle of domestic violence and abuse. So we found ourselves at a house like Harbor House. So we stayed there for a while. That was the first time we'd ever had counseling. First time someone asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. It was the first time my mother got clean to help her get her benefits that she was entitled to. Helped us get into our first apartment, helped us get my first room, my first bed. That was like 6, 7 years old. So I just kind of always remembered that. It didn't work out with her. I eventually became adopted and had other issues there. But once, I became a full adult, a career of my own, and then it was time for me to start giving back and trying to help other kids in the same position I was, to trying to give them a path to the same spot I am, to give them the same privilege that I've had, the privilege of having, opportunity and resources. That's what was given to me at key points. So I want to make sure that I can do that for some other child and other survivors, to give them the opportunity and resources to make a change in their own lives. So
Thank you for sharing that. I happened to be at the event where Mike shared his story in depth. And I think that people think of domestic violence, they think of the adult, which they should, but the impact on children and what happens in children's lives and the things that go on in the household that you're unaware with impact us all. And I talk about it all the time, I'm a childhood abuse survivor with domestic violence in the household. So that whole whammy of stuff, of course, messes with you as a child. I don't know how it can't. And so what a blessing. We didn't have services. I'm much older than you. So think about the 70s. We had nothing. I recall many times going to the police department with my mother had to drag me there. And it's a wild time for kids and a really, really tough thing for them to go through. And so that's my why as well, is I want to give back. I didn't get any help there, but I had a lot of educators who took notice of me and took me under their wing. And then that helped me kind of grow and blossom and feel protected for the first time, or feel like somebody cared about me. And so, yes, I want to give back. And that's why I've been involved since the beginning, the very first one here. And I just love everything that Harbor House does. And the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is such a great big event where all of the organizations in town come and support it. Sheriff's offices, the mayors. It's a beautiful event. So you're on the board, I believe, or you're the king of the board, as I'll call it.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what happens with the walk.
Yes. Well, Walk a Mile is it's an international event that's signified by men marching in heels, which takes place all around the world. And being that a majority of domestic abuse happens with men, this event is men walking to show other men that's not okay. It's men holding other men accountable. It is one of my favorite events Harbor House does. It's fun. You see men come out and struggle. So people always ask him, like, why don't you practice before the event? I'm like, I don't, that's the point. The point is it's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be tough. Of the walk. They want to see you in struggling and in pain. And I will say the last couple of years, I used to cheat a little bit because I bring my kids and put them in the stroller, but I can lean on it, but now they're too big and they have things to do. So now I actually have to tough it out and walk the whole way. So
yeah. What shoes do you choose? I have to ask that. Are you a heels guy?
I do heels. Every year I try to do a different pair, and then I donate the pair to Harbor House because shockingly it's hard to find heels to fit a men's 11 and 12. But last year I wore these purple sequins.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I kept these ones because I actually like them, and purple being the domestic violence awareness color. I think I might wear those again this year.
It's an honor when you get there, because there are survivors there are representations from all organizations around town. I feel like the city of Orlando and Orange County, they definitely wrap their arms around Harbor House. And let's talk about the services, specifically, if you can give us just a little bit of an insight into the services that Harbor House provides and why they're so critical in Central Florida.
Harbor House it's not just a shelter. I mean, it's not just a hotline. It's a safe haven. It's a place where it's a safe net, but also a springboard. A lot of our survivors come in with nothing. They have issues with budgeting and financing and credit scores. They have issues with trying to get injunctions against their abuser. So Harbor House can provide all those services. We have the hotline, yes. We have a shelter, but we have a place for kids. We have an emergency shelter. We also have long-term housing to help families get back on their feet before they go back out in the real world. So it's an all-encompassing organization, and there's none like it. And we also have a kennel for pets.
I was going to bring that up. I love that.
Yeah, a lot of people will stay in the abusive relationship because of the fear of what's going to happen to their pet if they leave. Yes. Harbor House provides that opportunity so they can come and bring their pets, whether it's dogs, ferrets, cats, anything, rabbits. I mean, during the hurricanes, we always have new puppies and new rabbits that we find when we come back. So, but the kennel is we have the foster piece that helps support money for the kennel. But the kennel is a big thing that we provide that I don't think anybody else does.
No, it's because you're right. I had family actually, that they did not want to leave because you all probably don't want to think about this, but one thing that an abuser often does is either abuses the dog or threatens to, let's use a dog, for example, threatens the pet, the life of the pet. And if you're trying to get out of the house, the kids are already being disrupted. And a lot of times the victim or survivor will stay because of the animal. And so what a blessing for Harbor House to provide that to all sorts of animals. All right, what's the date for our walk?
It is February 12th. It's on a Thursday. Registration starts at 5 p.m. We have a kind of award show, the best shoes, most creative shoes, largest fundraiser, personal and team. It's a red carpet event. Usually have a little dance off too. It's really fun. I've never partake because I can't walk in these, let alone dance. So but it's fun.
Somebody made me get up one year and I'm like, I can't move. Like I'm trying to figure out how to stay alive here, people.
Right.
But yeah, it's the topic is serious. The mood is, like you said, it's a fun event, but everyone understands why they're there.
Exactly.
And so there's a very powerful part too, where you wear something on your back or your front and it says, I walk for. And so people put their people they know who are in situations, or they walk for their kids, or they walk for themselves, or it's pretty powerful to watch those signs and talk to people about that, because you carry it with you. But if you're blessed enough, like Mike and I have been, someone somewhere along the line takes care of you and gets you out of that trajectory. All right, Mike, I've got one last question for you. I'd like to ask a personal question. Don't worry, it's not too hard, I don't think. When I say the word hero, who is the first person who comes to mind?
My wife.
Tell me why.
You mean I've been struggling quite a bit with background and in my time in the military and PTSD, and she's kind of been that rock to kind of steer me back. I mean, I will say tough love. She doesn't let me wallow in it or let me isolate myself. She makes sure, hey, you need to talk. Get to talk to somebody. You have to fix these things for you in order to create the world you want for your daughters, right? So it's hard for her to do that because it's hard to force. I don't want to say force, but to show somebody that you can't help other people unless you help yourself.
Yes.
So she's been that rock for me to push me in that direction. So
I love that. Thank you for sharing. All right, Mike, tell them how they can find you.
You can find me. I mean, you can go to my website. It's bandalawgroup.com. I'm a personal injury lawyer with my good friends. My personal cell phone's on the website. If you need to give me a call, it's 616-514-9910. It's the same number my wife has. So she hates that, but I have to let my clients get a hold of me. But if you have any questions about what I do or about Harbor House, always feel free to reach out to us. And yes. Harbor House website is harborhousefl.com. Yes. So if you want to join the event, you don't have to be a man to join the event. You can just be anywhere in the community. It's $35 with a t-shirt. Come on down and register and have some fun with us.
Yep. Have some good time on February 12th. So harborhousefl.com. I'll also put a link below where you can get straight to registration. We'd love to see you out there. It's an amazing event. And I definitely know that when we had the first one, it was just life changing. Such a great event and so much awareness brought to such a serious issue. So thank you for being on. I appreciate it. I really do feel like you motivated that entire crowd. And so I have been excited to have you on and share your story because people do listen. And I will get comments from people every time we do a show like this. I didn't know the services were there and they needed them. So it's super important that we continue to do the outreach and events like Walk a Mile in Her Shoes or Pause for Peace so that more people know the services are out there and that somebody does care about them. So thanks, Mike, so much. We'll see you guys soon. Register, donate, whatever you'd like. We'd love your support. It's February 12th, the 13th annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. See you guys later. Thanks, everybody.